Tottenham. Tottenham is Tottenham, right? I mean, the first manager to win the club's European trophy in over 40 years, bringing home the Europa League to end a 17-year trophy drought. And Spurs have dismissed Ange Postecoglou. I think, look, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I've been heavily critical of Ange Postecoglou throughout, I'd say, the last 18 months in terms of really weighing up whether his style of play is sustainable over the course of a 38-game campaign. And I think, look, you have to weigh into the fact there's been, in there, as we know, Tottenham Hotspur's worst ever Premier League finish. But I have to be honest and say that despite all those feelings, despite all those stats out there, I think this has come as still a bit of a shock to a lot of Tottenham fans, because at the moment, I think if you look at the pendulum swing with a lot of Tottenham fans, I think there's still a groundswell of support behind Ange Postecoglou. And I do think, based on the current managerial candidates out there, I think Ange Postecoglou deserved the right to go into that third season, despite my criticisms of him really throughout the last 18 months as Tottenham Hotspur head coach.
That's really interesting, and we'll talk about who might come next shortly. But in the club statement, they were very keen to point out that they can't make decisions on emotions. So are Spurs fans being emotional because you've just won a trophy and forgetting the fact that it's the worst Premier League history in your worst Premier League finish in your history?
Yeah, I can't speak for all Tottenham fans out there. You know, I can only speak for the fans that I know, and personally that I think there's been a real split amongst a lot of fans. I think there's, as I said, a lot of fans that feel, based on the fact he's delivered the club's first European trophy in over 40 years, end of that 17-year trophy drought, he earned the right to go in to season 3 to see what if he was able to adapt and change over the course of a 38-game campaign. At the same time, there were a lot of fans, I feel, that also had reservations and massive concerns given the nature of the Premier League form last season. And we do know about the fact that, you know, we've had 2 decimation of injuries during his period here. And the reality is, for a club the size of Tottenham Hotspur, you know, a 17th place finish is simply unacceptable. Now, Ange just said, obviously, on reflection of Tottenham winning the Europa League, that he had to prioritise Europe over the Premier League, given he wanted to make Tottenham Hotspur players legends. He himself now will go down in injury folklore at Tottenham. And I think it's very interesting. You look at Tottenham Hotspur's greatest ever managers, which Ange Postecoglou, I can tell you, is now part of that bracket. I don't think any Tottenham manager, when you look at the actual statistics, have ever finished above 8th in the Premier League when winning such a high degree of trophy as a European one.